Welcome to Protecting Your Online Business. If you run a business of any kind nowadays, you're probably online. In this module, we'll explore how to protect your online space and what you need to have on your website, what you need to run an e-commerce store and sell any types of products, and how you can utilize copyright to protect you, how to create passive income products and protect them, and finally, compliance and maintenance when it comes to your online space. All right, let's begin with website foundations. In this section, we will navigate through essential legal documents every website needs, terms and conditions, privacy policies, and disclaimers. For those venturing into the world of e-commerce, whether you have or are looking to create passive income through templates, passive courses, or even physical goods, we will go through terms of purchase. So let's dive in. Terms and conditions, or terms of use, is not a legally mandatory document to have on your website, but it's crucial if you want to protect your website and work. This document outlines how your website should be used by the user, what their rights are, and what your rights are. For example, some key clauses that this document should include are copyright and trademark, IP licensing, third-party websites and affiliate link disclaimers, etc. Let's talk about some real-world applications for the terms and conditions clauses. Intellectual property protection or IP protection clauses will protect your assets. Imagine offering a freebie on your site and someone takes your freebie and sells it on Etsy. Your terms and conditions serves as your first line of defense because it will clearly state in an intellectual property clause that you own these items and unauthorized distribution or resale is prohibited, which will back you up when emailing Etsy to take down the infringer's item. Don't worry, we will explore doing this further in the presentation. Limiting liability. For example, your website might provide information or links to third-party sites where you might get affiliate commission. Imagine someone purchases something from one of those sites because of your recommendation. For example, what if the product wasn't real and the third-party site isn't responding to them? They could potentially come after you for lost money, which is why you need to clarify in your terms and conditions that you aren't liable for what third parties do. The key takeaways here are that terms and conditions aren't just a legal necessity. It's a practical tool that safeguards your business, assets, and online presence. A privacy policy is a detailed document that informs users how their data is collected, used, and protected when interacting with your website. But that's not all. It's also a legal requirement. Please note, every website, regardless of its geographical location, is obligated to have a privacy policy if it collects personal data from users. This could be payment information or even a simple email list. This is mandated by laws such as the European GDPR, the Canadian PIPEDA, and the US COLOPA or CPRA. Now, you're probably thinking, okay, you just threw a bunch of acts at us. Why should I care about them? Because non-compliance with these acts, even though they might not be in your country or state, actually risk governmental fines. And I know some of you might still be hesitant and thinking, does the government actually have time to write out all these fines? Yes, unfortunately they do. And if that isn't persuasive enough, by not having a privacy policy on your website, you're actually infracting on the terms and conditions of other larger companies like Google. And Google penalizes your searchability online for not having one. So imagine you've worked really hard on your SEO, search engine optimization, and you don't have a privacy policy. It will be very difficult to rank high on Google. So make sure you are legally compliant and not stunting your own Google ranking from the beginning. Having a comprehensive and transparent privacy policy is not just about legal compliance, but it's also about building trust with your users. So if you have a website but don't have one, please go purchase an up-to-date lawyer-drafted privacy policy as the laws change every few years and you're going to need it updated. Now, disclaimers. Disclaimers are statements that clarify the scope and limitation of the information and services offered on your website. They are tailored to your specific business and industry, ensuring that users do not misinterpret and misuse the provided content. They basically state that you're not responsible for things on your website, which is essential in preventing misunderstandings and limiting your liability and making sure that you don't get sued. So there are a few different types of disclaimers. Let's talk about the main ones. There are general disclaimers. These are broad statements that limit your liability for the content and services on your website. They ensure users understand that the information is provided as is and should be used with caution. There are professional advice disclaimers. These are essential for professionals offering advice in fields like law or health or finance. They clarify that the content is for informational purposes only and not a substitute for professional consultation. For example, a health and wellness website might include a disclaimer stating that the content is not medical advice and should not be used to diagnose or treat medical conditions, and that users are encouraged to consult with a qualified professional for personalized advice. Imagine someone took your advice and something went terribly wrong. You could be legally liable if you don't have a disclaimer. Earnings and success disclaimers are particularly relevant for business coaches or anyone teaching anything in similar roles. They make it clear that shared success stories or earnings are individual and not guaranteed for every user. For example, business coaches should incorporate earnings disclaimers to clarify that testimonials and success stories are individual experiences. Imagine if you have a statement on your website that one of your clients or students started earning $10,000 after a coaching session with you. You need a disclaimer to state that this is completely based on individual experiences and that results vary and that similar success is not guaranteed. Because you could get sued by a client or student for loss of income for false advertising if they do not achieve these goals after they decided to quit their full-time job, pursue their dream, all based on that statement and didn't succeed. Incorporating well-crafted disclaimers is a proactive step in managing risk. Make sure they are visible on your website, clear, and customized to your business. Now, let's discuss e-commerce and terms of purchase. The terms of purchase outlines the agreement between sellers and buyers. You will need a terms of purchase if you sell anything online, whether it's physical goods, digital goods like templates, courses, or even memberships. Key elements to include are payment terms, delivery information, refund and cancellation policies, licensing agreements for digital products. Let's talk a little bit about some real-world examples. If you're selling digital products like digital downloads, ebooks, or online courses, you'll want to have sections on protecting your IP and their licensing and usage rights. For example, if someone purchases your digital product, is it for personal use or for commercial use? So they can actually resell it to their audience. Legal best practices for online stores. Ensure that the terms of purchase is written in plain language and is easily accessible to buyers. Incorporate mechanisms like checkboxes to obtain buyers' explicit agreement to the terms of purchase, ensuring they are legally binding. And keep the terms of purchase updated to reflect any changes in policies, products, or legal requirements, maintaining its relevancy and accuracy. Adhering to best practices, sellers can mitigate risk, protect their intellectual property, and foster a conducive environment for business growth. All right, let's move on to copyright basics.